Toyota has been shining the spotlight on its mainstream cars, at least recently, when it comes to new technology and powertrains. Meanwhile, Toyota's luxury division Lexus has been sitting backstage waiting for the next act to start. Well, that next act is starting this year, as they give us a glimpse of what's to come. Welcome back to the channel. If you missed my video last May on how Toyota is leaving Lexus in the dust, make sure to watch that after this video. And if you enjoy coverage on Japanese and Korean cars, I would love to have you as we achieve 100,000 subscribers together. And let's get into the juiciness over at Lexus's global page. Here we go. Lexus announces worldwide sales results in 2020. Okay, so we're going to start with some sales, and trust me, we'll get into the juicy bits after. Now, they achieved almost 720,000 units, which is 94% compared to 2019. In the first half, from January to June, they were about 84% of their 2019 sales in the first half, but in the second half, they actually improved the sales. They had a good rally there, 102%, so a 2% gain compared to 2019. So a total of 94% compared to 2019 in total. Looking at the global markets, this was really interesting for me. No surprise here, in America, they were down about 8%, getting close to that 300,000 unit mark. That's kind of like where they've plateaued in the past few years. China, though, is doing anything other than plateauing, and at this rate, it's not going to be very long before they catch up to North America and surpass them. So 111% year over year. And it's interesting that China is the only one in the positive here while the rest of the world is suffering. I don't know. Guys, you can put in your conspiracy theories now. Something's a little fishy there. Europe, 81% year over year. However, there's a big increase there. If we go over to the European Lexus page, they recorded a premium market share, and it's a record for them, of 2.3% and reaching 3% in share in the private sector for the first time. So even though they were down at 19% on the year, they actually made ground on their competitors in Europe. I thought that was pretty interesting. Japan not doing so hot. Middle East a little bit better than Japan. It's ironic, right, that Lexus is a Japanese brand and Japan was their worst performing market. Another, put on your tinfoil hats for that one. And then East Asia, overall 92%, so pretty good. They're similar how they did here in the United States. And then their new international president, Koji Sato. Now, they say a different name here on the Japanese page, because this is all translated from Japanese. It's Tsuneji Sato. But if we go to the European news page, it says Koji Sato, excuse me. Whatever, Sato-san, his nickname must be Koji, and his full name may be Tsuneji. I'm not an expert there, but I'll see you guys in the comments on what you think. Now, the first paragraph here is like just, he wants to thank the customers and their dealerships on doing a really good job despite a crazy year. Now, the juicy bits, guys, are you ready? Now, we're not going to read this translated from Japanese because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we'll read the European press release. So Koji Sato, this year, Lexus will take a new step forward in aiming to make the diversified lifestyles of our customers more rewarding. This spring, we will unveil our new brand vision along with a new concept, which we'll see an image of here in just a second, which illustrates our intentions for the future and marking the beginning of the next generation of Lexus. Very big words there. Akio Toyota hired Koji Sato from being an engineer. He was like the lead designer and engineer of the LC500. Akio's like, we need more LC in the entire Lexus lineup, and looks like Koji Sato is going to be bringing that. Furthermore, we will launch the first model under our new vision within this year, 2021, and we will continue to introduce new models next year and beyond. So we're going to stop right there and decipher what this means. To me, the first model to launch under the new vision is going to be the NX. It's not going to be this concept that they're going to unveil. The concept, I don't know if it'll ever become a real vehicle. It could be the RZ350E or 450E or whatever they decide to call it. That would be a fully electric sort of small crossover vehicle, maybe sharing things with the Subaru Evoltus. However, I don't think that's going to be the first vehicle under this new vision. I do believe that it's going to be the redesigned Lexus NX, and it's going to be taking design cues from this concept car, as many other Lexus vehicles will be as well. From here on as well, by being considerate of our customers around the world and engaging in car making that exceeds their expectations, we will continue to take up the challenge of delivering happiness to all people who come in contact with Lexus. I look forward to sharing more with you soon. So again, backtracking, soon to Koji Sato means this spring, so we only have to wait 2-3 more months or so to see what in fullness what this new vision, this brand image for Lexus is going to be. Now, the concept vehicle we actually have an idea of, and it's this right here. However, we're going to go over to my edit of it, and I just brightened it up so we can see a little bit better. I still don't know whether if this is a sedan or a crossover. It could be a little bit similar to the Polestar. I think it's a Polestar 2, which is kind of like a lifted car. But this is the first time we've seen the Lexus name spelled on the back of a car. This reminds me a lot of Lucid. Lucid has done this on their vehicles. They're not the first one or the last one to do this, but that's just what's recently in my mind is Lucid's electric cars. And is this vehicle going to be electric? I do think so. At least in this concept form, I do think it's going to be electric. Now, it's very interesting. You see these striations on the taillights going up and down. And then you also see more striations down here. And it's actually a larger grille. It almost looks like a rear grille of vertical panels. I don't exactly know what these will be. I don't know if they're lights. I don't know if they're blinkers, which would be obviously a form of light. Obviously, these would be the tail lights, and then here is a large antenna on the rear. I'll be sprinkling in additional images from the previous tease that we got. The previous tease we got from Lexus, I believe it was in December of 2020, so it's past December. Lexus showed us Direct 4 for the first time, and we will learn more about it in the spring release. But they gave us the power numbers for Direct 4 on a plug-in hybrid, which was in the form of an ES, and then an SUV we have never seen before. It almost looked like a mix between an RX and a GX. It was fully electrified. So those are both going to be a part of this new vision. Electrification is a big part of it. Plug-in hybrids, fully electric. And there's no better way to talk about them other than heading over to the spreadsheet. So that RZ350E or 450E, whatever they decide to call it, could have around 300 horsepower, fully electric with a larger electric motor, more electrification towards the rear. I'm expecting 250 to 280 miles of range on it. Again, this is all conjecture at this point in time. Now, we did get a really good idea of that fully electric larger crossover that was teased with the Direct 4 announcement, and that had 402 horsepower and 441 pound-feet of torque. They could put it in the RX. That's what I've been guessing, is that the RX would be potentially the first vehicle to get big-time electrification in the Lexus lineup. Not plug-in, but fully electric. Unless this concept they announced here in spring actually makes it out before a fully electrified RX. Now, in this new brand image for them, guys, it's really going to take off. They're going to have a lot more options here, but we're just going to talk about the NX. I've talked about it a little bit before on the channel, but the next NX is getting a whole lot of powertrain, so let's break them down. There's going to be a 250, which is going to be a naturally aspirated four-cylinder that we see in like the RAV4. 230 horsepower, nothing crazy. It would be a great entry-level leasing vehicle, pretty cheap to get your feet wet into the Lexus division. Then they have the 350 with a new turbocharged engine, 2.4 liter, a little bit larger displacement, 300 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque, somewhere around there. Then we go to the hybridization of it. Now, the ES currently has a 300H. The NX is getting away from 300H, and it's going to get an upgrade to 350H. Now, I hope they give us a lot better electrification than the RAV4 hybrid. I hope they give us the additional horsepower that we see in the Highlander hybrid and the Sienna hybrid, and give us 254 horsepower combined. That would be ideal. Give it a little bit more power than the RAV4 hybrid, and I think Lexus owners would definitely feel better about spending a little bit more money on that hybrid system. Now, this is the range topper for now. For the NX, which will be the 450H Plus, it will be a plug-in hybrid. Now, they could go the lame and conservative route and just give it the same plug-in hybrid system as the RAV4 Prime. It's still new, but as a Lexus, it needs to have an additional edge to it, more incentive to pay a little bit more for it versus the Toyota. Okay, The best way to do this, in my opinion, is that you give it more power to that rear wheel and more torque to the front wheel as well. If you compare it to the RAV4 Prime, it might have a little less horsepower on that front motor, but more torque, and that rear motor on that rear axle has double the power, double the torque. And your combined horsepower, somewhere around 300, similar to the RAV4 Prime, but a massive amount of torque and power sent to that rear wheel to give it a much different driving experience. Could they give us more electrification than what we're showing here? Yes, they could, but I'm also expecting similar EV range with 40 miles close to the RAV4 Prime. Now this one right here, 500e, they could put a 500e in the NX, RX, ES, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they could because they already showed it off. This would be the first time they're getting away from the CVT. They put some sort of maybe 2-speed transmission in there for the electric only side, and we already know the power figures of this: 402 horsepower, 442 pound-feet of torque, and maybe around 300 miles of range on 85 kilowatt hour battery. Those are all just guesses, but I think they are realistic guesses. They are definitely, at least Toyota has shown that they have these motors, they have this capability of doing it inside the Lexus products. We just have to wait for them to show us. And guys, real quick before I leave, I'll see you in the comments on Lexus's brand new brand image, but some pretty important things coming, at least in the United States, for Toyota and Lexus, and it's a new buying experience. If you missed my video, I think it was around Christmas time, but anyways, Lexus killed their Lexus Plus program, which had upfront pricing, no fees, one point of contact, etc., and they're scrapping it largely because of this coming for Toyota and Lexus. So for Toyota, they're calling it Smart Path, and it's really the same program for Lexus, but they're calling it Monogram. Pretty much all the buying experience can be done from your computer at home, your products, your financing, etc. Everything can be done from home, and then when you're ready to pick up the vehicle, you go to the dealership and you sign the paperwork, or it can be delivered to your house. So you can buy a car in about 30-40 minutes instead of wasting hours at the dealership spinning your tires with greedy salesmen. Now, they have upfront pricing on it from the sounds of it, but you can still negotiate if you want to go that route. Now, when you do all the ordering online, it's going to show you your local dealership and their specific inventory. So that way it helps out the local dealers and keeping the sales local. So very interesting way forward for Lexus and Toyota. And that implementation isn't going to be required, but you're going to see it happen more and more throughout dealerships across the country here in the United States, because in theory, it offers a simpler, easier, and more transparent buying process for the customer. And lastly, over at Press Room in Australia, Toyota Gazoo Racing Club open for membership. If you have a GR Super or GR Yaris, you can apply for a cool open club. Free 12-month membership available to GR Super and GR Yaris owners. Gazoo Racing Club offers members exclusive events, experiences, and content. Benefits include Caltex/Ample fuel discount, Kayo subscription, and limited edition welcome pack. So I'll put this in the description if you guys want to read more about it if you're in Australia. Again, nothing cool like that happens in the United States anyways. No GR Yaris for us. Guys, I'll leave it there. New exciting things coming for Lexus. A lot of conjecture on my part today because I enjoy doing it. Hopefully you guys have something to add down in the comments. I know you do. I don't know why I said hopefully. You always have really great things to add to the conversation. And if you're not subscribed, I would love to help. I would love to have your help getting to 100,000 subscribers, and I will give you guys updates when Lexus does come out with this new brand image this spring. We're just a month, 2-3 months away. We're not very far away. And I'm getting a vehicle, another vehicle. The MDX is getting swapped out for a TLX, so I will be bringing you a review on the brand new redesigned Acura TLX. And guys, I'll see you in the comments. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.